For this experiment, we designed a specific task which we presented to our patients, to our subjects. And it was basically a card game task. And they were presented with two different card decks, one on the left side and one on the right side. And they were informed that one of these two decks has a 30% chance of winning, whilst the other has a 70% chance of winning. So by picking cards and seeing whether they win or lose, eventually through trial and error, they could hopefully figure out on which of the two decks there were more winning cards and thus adjust their strategy. And because everybody picked from the same decks, the subjects could learn which was the better deck, not only through their own experiences, but also by observing the trials and errors of the other two players. From previous studies, we know that in the human brain there are different regions that are involved in learning and in observing others. And so for this specific study, we looked at three areas in the brain, and these I can show you here. So here we have the human brain, and the eyes would be here. And so if we look inside, along the middle of the brain, along here, we have the rostromedial prefrontal cortex, where we recorded from. And then we have the rostral anterior cingulate cortex, which is just around here. And then also we recorded from an area called the amygdala, which I can't show you because it's deep in here inside the medial temporal lobe. As the subjects are playing this card game, they're starting to make predictions and prediction errors, and they're starting to learn which of the two decks might be the better deck. And what we found was that there's a group of neurons in the rostral anterior cingulate cortex that encode these learning signals when the subject is observing somebody else. So, for example, if I was the subject and I was observing somebody else picking a card, these individual neurons, even before the outcome is revealed, so as this other person is picking a card, these individual neurons are starting to change their firing rate according to what the subject is expecting. So if I think, oh, this guy's going to win now, these neurons start increasing their firing rate. And then when this other person has picked a card and turned it around and I see, oh no, they've lost, then these neurons again encode this prediction error. So you have these individual single neurons in the rostral anterior cingulate cortex, so in the middle of our brain, the front and middle, that encode these learning signals whilst I'm observing somebody else. In the paper, we discuss various response profiles and also provide some examples. Now, my own personal favorite example is that of what I like to call a Schadenfreude neuron. So in this example, if you imagine that I'm the subject playing cards with two other people, we found that there are neurons in the human brain that increase their firing rate when I'm winning, but also increase the firing rate when the other two are losing. And vice versa, they decrease the firing rate when I lose, and they also decrease the firing rate when the others are winning. So you can kind of imagine this neuron going like, yay, I'm winning, or yay, the others are losing, or vice versa, oh no, I'm losing, and oh no, the others are winning. Now, obviously, we don't know what exactly this neuron does, but it's striking to see how you can see a resemblance of those kind of parameters down at the level of individual neurons inside humans.